All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. So several weeks ago, I did a video about OCF, a coffee shop company in Philadelphia that the baristas try to unionize.
Oh, shit.
And
Here we go again.
the company goes down because of that. There was pretty much a direct correlation of the employees wanting to unionize. And there was strikes and, they were picketing in front of the coffee shops that was closed down. And they were very upset. But once you start looking at the information that was given, yes, they did close down because the employees wanted to unionize, but it was because of the cost that came along with unionizing. Because when you are dealing with a union, now you got to have basically a lawyer that is going to have to deal with the union. And they said that they were not making money as it is. They were not really making money. It was not a profitable business. That basically was being subsidized by the owner's other businesses. So how much can you really squeeze out of a business that's not really profitable and it's being basically supported by other businesses? But the reason why this story to me was more interesting was just the attitude of the baristas. They kind of knew that the company was not making money, but they were like, well, the owner has money from these other businesses, and it's just like, the entitlement to even think that way. Like, you're not thinking of the business, you're thinking of yourself. How am I going to be able to make more money? Even though this company is not making money right now, but the owner has money from other places. He can just pay us from over there. And I'm just like, wow, the entitlement. You see, that attitude alone, I would want to close my business if I got now, if it's not profitable and I have employees that's their attitude, that they're not really caring about the business. They say they do, but then they say stuff like that it just doesn't make any sense. You're basically saying, well, they don't care if the company makes any money. The other guy has a lot of money. They don't care if it's not from this business. He should pay us from the other businesses, which technically is pretty freaking entitlement right there. That's the way. Look, that's just my opinion. So I kind of saw this in another story in Ann Arbor, Michigan. There was 4 coffee shops. But this happened about 5 years ago. I was just not privy to this. It popped up on my YouTube feed, and I'm like, wow, interesting. Almost identical, except some of the minor facts. This one was a little bit more controversial, which I'm surprised I didn't hear about it. There was some racial discrimination allegations that were settled, but this happened before, and then the employees used that to bring in the union. So it's kind of a little interesting because, again, I'm not for no racial discrimination. So don't be like, oh, this guy, look, if that happened, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's very wrong. That was settled. But, at the end of the day, you can't force a business to do business if it's not going to be in their best interest to do business. And this is kind of the attitude again with the employees that I saw. So let's get into it real quick. Let's just see some of the video.
36 and getting your Java fix in Ann Arbor, it may be soon a bit more challenging. 4 coffee shops preparing to close their doors, and it comes after their baristas band together to form a union. This is interesting. 7 Action News reporter Matt Smith live outside the Mighty Good coffee shop in Ann Arbor. Matt, when will these doors be closing at these shops?
Well, at this particular shop, we're hearing Friday. That's according to the letter that I got, but I mean, take a look. They still claim that they're open Saturday and Sunday. It goes to show how abrupt this is. The baristas I'm talking with say they were expecting to do contract negotiations last night. Instead, when they showed up, they were being talked to about their layoff situation. A handful of baristas holding signs outside, inside the coffee.
Honestly, a handful, maybe like 3. Which is a little bit less than the other one, but the whole thing is like, I don't even understand why they even like doing this outside of the store that's going to close. What is that going to do? What is that doing? What's the accomplishment of doing this? Is this going to force the company to stay open? You can be like, oh, you know what? We don't want to deal with the union. We don't want to deal with this. We're just going to rather close all our shops. But oh, wait a minute. They're protesting in front of our stores. You know what? Let's just stay open and deal with everything. It's like, no, it's just a waste of time, which I guess they have a lot of time now since they won't have a job.
Coffee's still being served, but according to this letter from their boss's legal team, that won't happen for long. It explains in part that the bosses, quote, found the experience to be overly stressful, noting the retail operation created an unworkable burden on their relationship and their family.
It's really unfortunate that
the management gets to walk away with the money that they made in their successful business, and we.
I don't understand. I don't know how successful this business was, to be honest, but what's wrong with them walking away with their money? I don't understand. I'm a little confused. Is that bad? Like that somebody walked away after they built something, they walked away with the money? And I don't have a job now. Let me know. I mean, that statement just sounds like, it sounds like very much entitlement. Like it's like I should have walked away with that. I'm like, well, I don't understand what you're saying.
We walk away with no jobs and no fair contract that we've been.
You know, I do apologize that they did lose their job, but there's going to be, like I said, there's always some consequences to your actions. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So I guess they just expected the company to be like extremely happy that you guys brought the union to basically partner up with the coffee shop, because that's exactly what the owners want. They want another partner in their business. I don't,
Working for.
The twist, these people unionized after allegations of racial discrimination in the workplace. That barista has since left, but now, according to workers, the only people being laid off are the baristas.
And again, if there was some racial discrimination, look, 100% not cool with that at all. This situation is after that.
Other operations like coffee roasting will continue. This as there's plans to close the company's Main Street location in just 2 days, another next month, and 2 others by August.
I want to ask people that listen to me, listen to this video, if it comes into your feed, what would you do if you owned a shop? It doesn't have to be a coffee shop. If you just owned a store, a shop, a business, and your employees were, felt you were unfair for some way, or they wanted more money, and you're not necessarily, maybe you can't pay them, maybe you could, but maybe this is like your budget, and they go and bring the union in to your business. Would you be super happy? Would you be like upset? Would you be like, well, let me try it out? Or, I mean, seriously, I would be curious to hear some answers.
Still not a lot to go on for us. We don't know how they're going to manage staffing during that. We don't know who's going to still work. We don't know who.
My man looked like he just woke up and crawled out of bed. Like, didn't even like brush his hair down or nothing. That's impressive. It is impressive. I mean, this is a barista. That's how he. That's how it is. That's how it is, I guess. That's how you.
Who's going to get hours? So there's a lot of uncertainty with this right now.
Mighty Good Coffee got some bad press after that racial discrimination lawsuit, but since then they've been dealing with contract negotiations with the fallout, that union. Now they say the union won't be a part of the company, or at least that's what the baristas say. A lot of them shocked by how sudden all of this was. I did reach out to the company's lawyer that sent that letter to the baristas. I've reached out to them by phone and by email so far.
All right, so I'm going to show you now a little clip of the OCF in Philadelphia that I did a video on. So you remember a little bit of that. Let's look into the OCF for those that didn't see that video. Look, feel free to bring that up. It's good.
You can't hide. We all see your greedy side.
Former employees of OCF Coffee House rallied outside of the now closed Fairmount Cafe on Tuesday.
We've been paid really bad wages, and this was our attempt to get better wages and make the place that we love better.
The coffee shop.
Again, this place was not making really any money, and they had bad wages. But again, if you don't like how much someone's paying, you start looking for another job. It's really not it shouldn't be something that, well, I don't like what I'm getting paid here, I'm just gonna force them to pay me more. I'm gonna bring in a whole nother third party be in contracts with me in this business so they can pay me more. If you are a skilled labor, or a skilled laborer, you should be able to get more wages somewhere else. But this is a problem. This is not, and I gotta be careful how I say it, because baristas, I have no problem with baristas. I think most baristas, they understand their job. But you have some that feel like this is, an extremely important job and they should be paid a certain level, which is just, and I don't want to bring it down a notch, but you are making coffee, and I love coffee, don't get me wrong, but it's like I can make coffee by myself at home. I have a cappuccino machine at home. I actually don't go to coffee shops because I can make it at home. So this is a luxury, and it's like really not a skilled job. You learn it as you work there. It's not really that job that you need like to go to school to learn how to do this. I know it's gonna sound bad, but it's just the truth.
Shops are owned by OCF Realty. The real estate brokerage announced the closures to employees in an email, which included 2 other locations in South Philly. Workers like Alex Simpson say they were shocked.
I am pretty crushed, especially when it's such a blatant response to our union process. Like, this comes a week after we publicly announced.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I don't understand. Like, again, it's that whole entitlement. It's like they just expect the company be happy that you bring in another third party to do contracts with them. To me, it's pretty impressive. I'm pretty sure a lot of people see it their way, and that's the way. That's what it is. I have my opinion. They have their opinion, but it's just weird, and especially a company. This company wasn't even making money, so they were trying to squeeze it out of the other business to pay them off another one. Again, if you were not making enough here, you are not being forced to stay there. Don't get me wrong, I get it. Sometimes finding jobs is not easy, but I don't think this is necessarily the solution. So subscribe if you haven't. Leave your comments below. Let me know if I'm freaking nuts, or let me know how you see this, because obviously I think one of my last videos that I talked about unions, I might have lost a viewer or some viewers, because again, I understand the whole union, and I'm not bashing the union at all, but it's just one of those things that this doesn't seem like the solution for this, but I could be wrong. I would love to hear some feedback on why is it that baristas feel that they really need a union in a coffee shop. Just my opinion. Peace later.